So I should probably be getting back to editing tomorrow's video, but while I was making myself a cup of coffee to take a break from editing, I clicked on a particular video that showed up in my subscription feed and turned it off pretty quickly. But it led me to have this thought. And this is something that I feel like is often lacking because it's one of the most difficult things to do. That being, presentation is an argument. At least, presentation is a fundamental part of your argument. Because it doesn't really matter what you're saying when it comes down to it. It's about how you say it. There's a lot of implications to just the way something is presented on one front, whether or not people want to engage with it, but it also gives people will come away with it with a certain sense. There's a way to present an argument where people will come away more open and more like, I learned something and this might have changed my opinions. And there's a way to present something where it just feels like you're being talked down to and no one wants to engage with it. And I think this is a pretty big issue, especially because lately I've been a little more interested in political content, right? And generally I'm consuming stuff like ContraPoints, Philosophy Tube. Um, who else? Who else? I guess Lindsay Ellis kind of counts. She's not really political, but her stuff is more leaning towards a analysis of film and stuff through that type of lens, through uh, feminist theory or etc. etc. And I noticed that a lot of the bigger guys and girls have really strong presentation. They really get how to lay out an argument and how to structure a video in a way that's entertaining, engaging, makes you want to engage. Because there are videos by these people that I watched in the past that genuinely changed some of my opinions, or at least added some nuance. Like I was mostly on their side, but I wasn't all the way there. There were certain aspects to my views that I realize now were a bit misguided or a bit incorrect. And so I appreciate that they have a presentation that makes you want to engage with it. Because let's be honest, we're all human. We all are just in it mostly for ourselves. We want to be entertained. We want to enjoy our lives, right? If something's not entertaining me, well, how do I know I'm going to get anything of value out of it? Because I have nothing really to judge on, especially if it's a creator that I'm not familiar with or don't have a huge, established trust for. So what's my reason to engage with their argument? If it's entertaining, then there's my reason to engage because I like the video already. So I'm just naturally going to watch it and follow their arguments. And then by way of that, I can be brought into the actual point that they're making and potentially convinced. And the issue is when you're not good at presentation, well, who's engaging? Who's engaging really? And this is one of the biggest things that I've found is that particularly with people who are bad at presentation when it comes to political content is that it very much I see videos that it feels like, who is this for? Who is this video for really? And if you're creating this video that's supposed to convince people, or at least it seems that that's its purpose, why are you presenting it in a way that feels aggressive and attacking, that anyone who even remotely, even people who do agree with you and anyone who even remotely disagrees with you will immediately turn off the video, immediately be, not even turn off necessarily, but immediately be on guard. That's why you see a lot of the big creators, it starts with just some light humor. There's, just some sort of jokey sequence that establishes some basic groundwork. Like, yeah, we can both laugh. We're both human, right? Usually poking fun at themselves a little bit, but generally something a bit more comedic, because comedy is one of the best possible ways to get people to drop their guard. And but the hard part is, if you're bad at comedy, that's even worse, because that makes me want to click off a video faster than anything else. You have a big jokey bit and it's not funny, and it's really cringy. I'm immediately out. Like, I've completely lost any interest in watching any more of the video. Especially when you have multiple of those segments that go on for way too long. But I guess essentially what I'm getting at is that I just wish people would be more mindful of how their writing style, how their usage of humor, how their structure of the video, all this plays into what you're creating, because entertainment is argument. It's proven time and time again. You can present absolutely just untrue things. If you do it in the right way, your message will spread. That is just something that is true. So especially if you're trying to spread something that you think is genuinely true and is an important message that needs to be shared, and people need to be convinced of this, present it with as much possible entertainment and genuity and means with which to bring people over. Don't turn it into an us versus them, because that's going to put people on their guard. You need to invite them in. And that's not even necessarily from the front of having it be really clear and straightforward, because for instance, a creator like ContraPoints, her videos are extremely esoteric, yet they still work because they're esoteric but not alienating. Like, everyone who comes into her videos has a sort of similar reference point. She doesn't talk to you, when she talks to the viewer, it doesn't feel that much like you're someone else. And to a degree, she does play to her particular audience and reference stuff like that. But there definitely is this aspect that I think, because of the more esoteric, more broader type of presentation of videos, oftentimes framed with dialogues between various characters of hers, it makes it a little more accessible to someone who might have a contradictory political viewpoint. Whereas if you're just laying things out in a really dry and drab fashion, people are more quickly to be like, wait, no, I got my, buzzword, bad study, misleading study headline or whatever, and I can just reject everything you say and tune out completely. Whereas, again, like with comedy, pulls people's guards down a little bit, makes them a little bit more open, because it feels more like a dialogue, something hopefully people are willing to engage in. But that's just my short thoughts.